Hi guys, today I'm going to be reviewing the brand new Bruce Dickinson album, The Mandrake Project. This is an album that I expected to follow a safe path, some sort of a formula, and when I heard the first singles of this album, I was kind of convinced that I was right. But after a few listens, it turned out I was wrong on many levels. Let's find out how. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about the background of the album, my first impressions, best songs and the worst songs, and give my summary and rating at the end. If you do not know who Bruce Dickinson is, then you've probably been living under a rock. Bruce Dickinson is one of the original metal gods, the frontman of Iron Maiden, and he doesn't really seem to know the word relax. He's been doing a billion other things. He's been flying, fencing, having a radio show, he has a beer brand, and along all this, he's been a musician, and this is his 7th solo album, the first one actually since 2005, Tyranny of Souls, and he actually said about this album, The Mandrake Project, that it took kind of 14 years in the making. Some of the songs were 14 years old when he kind of finally got around to make it. He was stopped by Iron Maiden, by throat cancer, by the pandemic, and a lot of other stuff, but now the album is out. Bruce went into a studio in Los Angeles with long-term collaborator Rob C, who has been working with Rob Halford in the past on the Halford solo project, and these guys have worked together actually in the past. The other two core members of this project are Dave Moreno on the drums, who's the drummer from Puddle of Mud, and then a guy called Mistheria, which is an Italian piano keyboard player. I don't know if Mistheria is his name or if it's just an art name or something like that. The result is 10 tracks, just under 59 minutes, and it came out Friday the 1st of March. So I took the album to work, and the first impressions are that it's not being played safe at all. This album kind of goes all over the place. It's great sound, not really overproduced as I thought it would be, and it has some kind of reminiscence of different things. You know, there is a song called Many Doors to Hell that kind of reminds you of Deep Purple somehow, and then there is more adventurous stuff, kind of like post-metal, surf rock, Black Sabbath-ish stuff in Resurrection Man. And some of the songs are kind of more cinematic because, I mean, this is kind of a thematic album, comes with some cartoons or something like that I haven't really dived into, but it makes sense that the album is kind of telling a story. You hear it in the soundscapes. I realize now why he put out those two singles. They're kind of like a gateway drug, because as you get further into the album, you kind of get further away from what you expected from Bruce Dickinson, and it's a nice way to do it. But I'm not sure that if he would have put out some of the other songs like Resurrection Man as a single, I'm not sure that the loyal base would have kind of caught on to it. And there's not a lot of Iron Maiden stuff though. I mean, there is this song called Eternity Has Failed. That's kind of a follow-up on Iron Maiden's Book of Souls, If Eternity Should Fail. So he kind of uses the same chorus at the end of the song, and it's kind of a cool call back to that era. So overall, this feels like an adventurous, diverse album, but kind of Bruce is the glue that keeps the whole thing together. So I gave this album a few spins, like 7-8 spins. I took it running, I listened in the car, I listened with the dog in the dog park. And the standout songs, the 3 standout songs for me is, first of all, is Resurrection Man. It starts off like kind of like a post-rock, surf rock somehow, with galloping drums. Really interesting beginning of that song. And it's something that I never really thought that I would hear by Bruce Dickinson. After like 2 minutes and 40 seconds, it breaks down into a very kind of Black Sabbath style riff, and then a breakdown, and then it kind of kicks back into that surf thing. It's just a really cool song, and definitely came from left field somehow. And the next song that I really like of this is Many Doors to Hell. That song could easily have been on a Deep Purple or a Uriah Heep album where Bruce was a guest singer or something like that. It really kind of has that old feeling, but in a modern way. And there is a cool thing after the guitar solo. The guitars come in first on the left speaker, then on the right speaker. And there is this really cool Hammond intro in the beginning of it's kind of under the opening riff of that song, which is really cool. And the third song that I really like, and I didn't expect to have on this list, is Afterglow of Ragnarok. It has really grown on me. This was the first single on the album, and I didn't like it at first. I felt it was too compressed, too much trying somehow, but it actually sets the tone for the album really nicely. It gives that atmo, it kind of lays that ground for what you're gonna hear. I'm pretty sure that this song will be really good live. Now the bad song, I would give a disclaimer here. It's not really a bad song, it's just not as good as some of the other songs. And that's the song number 8 called Face in the Mirror. Bruce actually plays the guitar solo on this song himself, and that's not what makes the song bad. It becomes a little bit repetitive. It doesn't have that flavor that some of the other songs have. And I feel that, yeah, it's a little bit of an anticlimax when it comes. I'm curious to hear what are your best songs and worst songs of this album if you've been listening to it so far? And now the summary and rating. But before that, I just want to draw your attention to a link in the first comment to this. That's my playlist on Spotify that gets updated every week with brand new metal and rock. So you never miss a thing from the bands that you love or the bands that you didn't know that you have to love. So check that out. Spotify playlist, The Weekly Fix by Metal and Rock Zone. First comment below. So on to the summary. The pros of this album, it's a very diverse album. There's never really a dull moment here, I feel. It's great singing, as to be expected. I mean, Bruce is one of the best singers out there, for sure. And he shows that on this album. There is not like a red line through the album, as I kind of thought it would be based on the first two singles. It actually kind of takes you a little bit everywhere in terms of style and sound and different guitars and stuff like that. It's very brave. I don't think that he's doing the stuff that we would necessarily expect from Bruce Dickinson from Iron Maiden somehow. And he microdoses us with the track order somehow. He gets us from familiar to somewhere where I don't think we would be expecting to be listening to him. The cons, I can't really find a lot of cons on this. If I had to find something, it would be in the lyrics. There are some of them are a little bit thin somehow, but let's face it, it's heavy metal. It's not supposed to be some fucking deep philosophical thinking here. So I'm gonna give this album 9 out of 10. It's actually closer to 9.5 than it is to 8.5. I didn't really see this coming. Bruce did not play it safe at all. I hope to see him. He's gonna be playing at a festival here in the summer, and I hope to see him live back then. Please like this video, subscribe to my channel, and then I'm going to draw your attention to another album by Mick Mars from Mötley Crüe that I reviewed the other day. That was a bit of a downer, I have to admit. And then this one here, Saxon, Hellfire and Damnation, a recent review that I did as well. See you over there.